Hello, my name is Erika Berg, and I live on the land of the Anacostan people, today known as Washington, D.C. I've been asked why I volunteer as a researcher with the Middle Passage Ceremonies and Port Markers Project. Toni Morrison once said, "There is no place you or I can go to think about or not think about, to summon the presences of or recollect the absences of slaves." Inspired by Morrison's call to action in 2011, the Anns, Ann Shin and Ann Cobb, launched the Middle Passage Ceremonies and Port Markers Project. Since then, their team has documented more than 70 Middle Passage ports of entry all along the Atlantic and Gulf coasts, wherever enslaved Africans were sold into a lifetime of bondage. The more I learn about the Middle Passage, the angrier I get, but also the more committed I feel that we cannot let these sites of memory be whitewashed from our nation's landscape, legacy, or conscience. As a researcher, I plunge down one rabbit hole after another in search of yet to be acknowledged ports of entry, and it's always gratifying to know that each new discovery will spark community dialogue and reflection, for starters. I'm sometimes asked what it feels like to discover a port of entry. It's a visceral experience, and when I close my eyes, I can hear the shuffling of chains. I can hear the cracking of whips. I can hear children crying and whimpering, and as if needing to know what became of them, I then find myself, this has happened every time, searching for local, what are called runaway ads, which really describe in vivid detail men, women, even children who dared to flee their captors, all the while knowing that they were among the lucky ones, having survived long enough to at least try to flee. 1 in 5, more than 1.8 million Africans perished under the horrific conditions of the Middle Passage and were thrown overboard, their souls lost at sea. In school, I learned that the U.S. banned the transatlantic slave trade in 1808, period, as if the end of the story. So no, we didn't learn that enslaved Africans continued to be smuggled into the U.S. for the next 50 plus years, or that traffickers routinely bribed government officials to turn a blind eye, or that even though participation in the illicit trade was punishable by death since 1820, wasn't until 1862 that the one and only perpetrator paid the price. Today, a snowballing number of states are banning books that discuss race and legislating the erasure of Black history from school curricula. Our nation needs the Middle Passage Ceremonies and Port Markers Project. It needs what the project has unearthed to become common knowledge. By acknowledging Middle Passage ports of entry and encouraging honest dialogue about the issues raised, the project challenges those who are afraid to face ugly truths to learn from them instead. And by engaging and collaborating with local community groups on historic port markers and inclusive remembrance ceremonies, the project fosters healing. Nothing the Middle Passage Ceremonies and Port Markers Project does is easy. Our directors, the Anns, are swimming upstream, navigating uncharted water, and as you can imagine, often face resistance. So please join me. Donate, volunteer, sign up for our e-newsletter, share our website. During this season of giving, how better to honor the unimaginable sacrifices and incalculable contributions of the ancestors to whom we are all indebted. Thank you.